It's 1:15 a.m. and you're watching episode 36 of Weird Mind Newsroom. And we're going to delve into a lot of more of the news releases, some of the trailers, and the various news stories, all in a calm, somber voice. So, let's get into the content that came out from this week.
We're all going on a summer holiday.
So starting our new release this week is the two films of the week are both in the focus of some award season films. And the first movie has some big Irish talent in the front leads with the somber film of All of Us Strangers. Now, this film, from what I can gather of the plot, will follow Adam, who becomes acquainted and entwined with the mysterious Harry, and a relationship soon forms between the two, and must deal with these new emotions while also dealing with the death of his parents, who he keeps seeing alive after they passed away 30 years ago. Now, this film does sound very confusing, I will say, but it has garnered some really strong positive reception for the lead performances of Andrew Scott and Paul Mescal, and its plot, story, and themes. And if you want to check it out for yourself and make your own crack at explaining the film, then you can check it out now in cinemas. And as for the second film of this week, we are getting an all-new retelling of a film that won numerous awards in the 90s, coming back with an all-new musical adaptation of The Color Purple. This film tells the story of Celia, who has faced many hardships in life, from an abusive husband and being torn away from her sister and children. But soon, with the help of a sultry singer of shoegazery and her ground stepdaughter, she will find extraordinary strength in the unbreakable bonds of sisterhood. Now, this version, like the original, has also garnered some strong reception, a few award nominations, and all other things for its performances, production, and musical numbers. And if you want to check it out, this new version with a musical tone twist, then you can check it out now in cinemas. Now for the TV side of things, we have received the first of the shows being based on an all-new successor sequel to two of the most acclaimed wartime miniseries of all time, of Band of Brothers and the Pacific, with the new miniseries of Masters of the Air. This series will follow the 100th Bomb Group, otherwise known as the Bloody 100, as they risk their lives 25,000 feet in the air through their courage, their loss, and triumph as a collective brotherhood. Now, the series has garnered some very strong praise for its cast, its set pieces, its story, and attention to detail that is on par with the two previous miniseries as well. And if you want to check it out for yourself, the first two episodes are available to stream on Apple TV Plus, with a new episode releasing every Friday. And now, with a series by the power of fear that will provide you the power, as we have the follow-up to the very divisive series of 3 years ago based on the popular Warrior of Eternia, with the all-new Masters of the Universe, Revolution. This new series will see Teela joining forces with He-Man and the other Masters on their quest to save Eternia from the grip of darkness of the evil Skeletor, who has garnered a bit of a technological upgrade. Now, the series has garnered a better reception by both critics and audiences over Revelations, with praise for its visuals, its plot, and its character development, but some critique stem from its action feeling a little lacking. Now, this game has also garnered some very well-received reception from critics for its plot, its settings, and gameplay. And if you want a fun island getaway game, then you can get it now on PlayStation 5, Series X and S, and PC too. And with that, that's all the new releases that we have for this week.
Roadhouse.
Earth, water, fire, air, and money combined together will see the forces of the world come together with an all-new look at the all-new live-action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now this series will follow Aang, an airbender who, with the help of siblings of Katara and Sokka, will go on a journey to learn the 4 elements and become the true Avatar and save the lands after the Fire Nation attacked and learn some lessons along the way. Now, with most series with an anime-inspired inspiration getting a live-action series form, Netflix does not end well, as you can see with Death Note and Cowboy Bebop, the only exception being One Piece. This new adaptation does not look too bad at all and does look very well made, and there may be some love and respect to the original series, and hopefully it won't end up like whatever the hell happened with that terrible movie version from M. Night Shyamalan. And you can see how the series will play out when it releases on Netflix on February 22nd. Now for the film version that I was thinking was really not needed of a remake of the late 80s action classic, as you have gotten our first look at the all-new Amazon Prime remake of Roadhouse. Now this follows a former UFC middleweight fighter, in this played by Jake Gyllenhaal, who was given a job working on a roadhouse in the Florida Keys that are soon going to be discovered that things are not as easy as they seem. Now, the reason I'm on the fence about this is while the choice of Jake Gyllenhaal is a great choice, I do wonder why they thought a good casting for this movie was former UFC fighter Conor McGregor, as he's not an actor, but I guess he just fits the bill of some deranged nutjob from Florida, possibly. And honestly, this film doesn't look too bad, but we'll have to find out how this will play out when this releases on Amazon Prime on March 21st. And the last of the trailers came out of nowhere earlier while writing this piece, and this is coming from acclaimed actor Dev Patel in his directorial debut, and comedian turned horror director Jordan Peele in producer side with the new action film of The Monkey Man. This new film will follow Patel playing an ex-con who emerges from the confines to take on a world enmeshed with corporate greed and eroding spiritual values, and will seek revenge that took everything from him years ago. Now, I saw this being hyped on socials, and then seeing this as a new form of a John Wick style film from the trailer, I was immediately hooked on it, and it actually looks really cool. You can check it out for yourself when this new film releases in cinemas, supposedly on April 5th. And with that, that's all the trailers that we have for this week.
Hey, what's up? It's me. Stop!
We have a lot of news stories this week, and we're starting off the news with, of course, the big and final part of the nomination stories, as we've got the nominations on Tuesday for this year's Academy Awards. And I'm going to delve into 3 sections. I'm going to delve into the best pictures, some of the biggest nominees of the night, and the biggest snubs as well. So a few opinions before I delve properly more into it in my own proper video sometime down the line. Now we'll start with the best picture nominees, which has saw 10 big films getting a nomination in this category. With one other film I felt they should have had, but I'll get that in the personal opinion later. These 10 nominees include American Fiction, Anatomy of the Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. And as for the biggest nominations tonight, the big winner was Nolan's Oppenheimer with 13 nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director for Nolan, and Best Actor for Cillian Murphy. Second biggest was Poor Things with 11 nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director nod for Yorgos Lanthimos, and Best Actress for Emma Stone. Killers of the Flower Moon came in third with 10 nominations, which includes similar to the previous two, and Academy first for Lily Gladstone being the first Indigenous woman to be nominated for Best Actress. The fourth highest was with Barbie with 8 nominations and had 2 of the biggest talking points of complaints, and lastly in the top 5 was Maestro from Bradley Cooper, which saw 7 nominations, which saw him get a nomination both Best Director and Best Actors nominations. Now the last thing I want to delve on is some of my own personal complaints as well as some of the internet. With the first biggest one I mentioned is that Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie were snubbed for Best Director and Best Actress for Barbie, which a lot of people have complained about. Now, the big success of this film wouldn't have happened because of these two. We would have never gotten a big, huge, really good Barbie movie, and if a case of Margot Robbie wasn't in it, we would have a Barbie movie starring Amy Schumer. Now I'll agree with this snubbing on that. The one that I am really annoyed with is the Academy's neglect towards animation, like always. In particular, there's two films I felt should have gotten a few more award recognition. That's of course Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and The Boy and the Heron. Spider-Verse is one I definitely could have seen, besides Best Animated Feature, could also gotten a Best Score nomination, and even to just a stretch of my own personal gripe that a lot of people I've seen online agreed with, was a Best Picture nomination, which I could have seen definitely working as well, because the first one should have got a nomination, because it basically helped change it, create a new movement in animation. And as for The Boy and the Heron, it's a film made by acclaimed Ghibli director of Hayao Miyazaki, and should have gotten probably animation, maybe score, and also for international feature, along with a certain kaiju movie that did get nominated for Best Visual Effects, and the first one in 70 years. Then again, it is only really an Academy showing more in the films that don't have the biggest of audiences are getting a focus in terms of these awards, while the ones that do have a big audience kind of get sidelined. Now I'll delve into more on this all in the separate piece when I get my predictions for the night, which will probably be some point next month. But what are your thoughts on these nominations, and were you happy in the choices, and what ones were you disappointed in general that didn't get nominated? I'll delve more into the other snubs at the actual video, but let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. And now on to a story of some rumored and news, and this relates to the last of the video game adaptations that we will be seeing this year. That's of course with the blue blur himself of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, we are seeing two different variations of returning to the live-action universe of Sonic, with Knuckles coming out sometime soon, and of course being the third entry in the film franchise. And going off the post-credit scene of the sequel and the behind-the-scenes photo we received recently around Christmas time, we know one of the big new additions is fan-favorite character of Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, the big question that has been discussed is who will be voicing the edgier hog, as it's been seen that two of the three main characters of Sonic and Knuckles being revoiced by a new voice actor, with Ben Schwartz as Sonic and Idris Elba as Knuckles, with Colin O'Shaughnessy reprising a role from the games as Tails. And now with some rumored new casting news, it may be the case of the recasting of with a new and familiar voice. Now according to these rumors floating around, it seems that the actor Hayden Christensen may have been in talks to play Shadow, which actor many of you may know as Anakin Skywalker in the Star Wars prequel films, which somehow kind of makes it like a decent choice in casting for the character for someone that can play someone that has been troubled and dark and mysterious throughout that trilogy. I feel it kind of makes sense. Now, it's not the only news that we've come from this universe, as also been the talks that we may be even seeing Shadow getting his own spin-off in a series or film of their own, which could be interesting, but most case, it might end up like the Shadow game, which means we might likely end up with something like this.
Oh fuck. Oh my god.
Now, it is all early stages at the moment and simply rumors, but once we hear any more word on this film, then I will update you in a later video. But what do you think of this rumored casting for this character, and who do you think they will cast as Shadow? Would you watch a spin-off film or series based on him as well? Let me know what your thoughts and choices down below in the comments, and let's discuss the whole ordeal. Now for some news that seems becoming 65 million years in the making, as we are talking about dinosaurs. As you are aware, over the last few years, we have seen the complete trilogy of films be released based on the beloved Michael Crichton novel and 1993 Spielberg film of Jurassic Park, which has seen the release of 6 films over the course of its last 3 decades. Now these films vary in appeal and popularity, where the original is a timeless classic, the two, while not as good, has some appealing aspects, like
And Jeff Goldblum couldn't fail.
and the third had a talking dinosaur, like this. Before it went dormant for a few years and returned with the beginning trilogy of films of Jurassic World in 2015, that had some appeal from critics and audiences before the following 2 films have been panned a lot by both sides. And it seems from the conclusion of Dominion that was the end up with some spin-offs set in between being made. However, it seems like it may be returning again to the park, and in the way its release may be sooner than expected. It seems like a new Jurassic Park film might be in the works. And this new planned film is being written by David Coep, who wrote the original and its sequel of The Lost World, as well as the last 2 entries in the Indiana Jones franchise, which included Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and last year's Dial of Destiny, so there may be a case of something returning to form again as a possibility. Now the new project is described as an all-new storyline and set in a new Jurassic era, which could be separate to the recent trilogy and the original trilogy as well, so it's unclear if any of those cast of both trilogies will be back for the project. Now, at the moment, no one's attached to direct, but the other news is that there may have been some rumblings that the film could be releasing as early as next year. So unless they are working away on the film in production, director and cast is anyone's guess. Now, it's hard to see if this will bring the appeal and wonder of the original that stands in equal to that one, but I'm sure we'll find out soon if any more information comes to light. But what are your thoughts on the new Jurassic Park film, and what are your thoughts on the entire sextology of films itself in the series in general? Let me know of all your thoughts and opinions on this franchise and opinion on this down below in the comments section. Now, in the second last story for this, we are delving into some new news concerning the ever-expanding MCU, in particular talking on the famous wall crawler of Spider-Man, as we have some news regarding his next upcoming adventure. Now, the last time we saw Peter was in the massively popular trilogy conclusion of No Way Home, where he and two other Spider-Men had Strange cast a magic spell to make the world forget his identity and that Peter Parker never existed, so the people he loves and cares for don't get themselves caught in a mess and starting out with very little except being a hero. Now, sure, well, after the film's success, we got word that Spider-Man would return in future Marvel films like the next Avengers movies, but it was also a case that another solo film with a fourth entry was in the works. Now, you see, there is a bit of dilemma kerfuffle right now between the two studios that work on the film and character, because Marvel and Sony have two different visions they want for the upcoming release of the next movie, with Marvel, Kevin Feige and Tom Holland wanting to have a much more grounded street-level Spider-Man film where the main antagonist could be a villain from his massive rogues gallery, or even the likes of Kingpin, with how the end of Echo went by in the post-credit scene could establish the Devil's Reign comic line that could seem to team up with likes of Daredevil, Miss Marvel or Kate Bishop, or even introduce Jessica Jones and some of the Defenders or something back into this new version. Whereas Sony is looking to do a bit more of a multiverse level film that would also see them want to bring Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back for another as their respective Spideys for a fourth movie. Now, my own approach to this, I think Marvel's particular version seems to make more sense, because while I love seeing Andrew Garfield and Tom Maguire in No Way Home, I felt if they just bring straight into the fourth movie instead of maybe building them up to like the next Avengers film would feel a bit too tacky. I think holding them off until those two Avengers movies makes a bit more sense. Where I see the case of being a more grounded story where he can implement that Devil's Reign story where Kingpin has become the mayor of New York and then made it difficult for superheroes to defend the city as it makes it law to ban them or something, and see those heroes, teaming up to stop him makes a lot more sense. And in this instance, with the grounded level, you can introduce other characters like Gwen Stacy, Black Cat, or even introduce the MCU version of Miles Morales. That's an idea you can definitely do. And then use the build up the big multiverse crossover with Avengers 5 and Secret Wars over time. This is what's causing a little of the delay in the film, as well as the other being Marvel reducing its content every year now, because, they want to do a bit more of quality over quantity, which makes more sense. Now, we'll have to wait to see when we'll expect this new movie, which most likely will probably be before the next Avengers film, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But what are your thoughts on these two topics? Do you want to see a more grounded level Spider-Man, or do you want to see a bit more of a multiversal threat Spider-Man film with Tobey and Andrew? Let me know what your opinions are for reasons why down below in the comments. And the final story for this week is coming to us in the form of an announcement of a childhood classic getting an all-new big screen adaptation. Now, over the past few decades, we've seen some form of classic children's characters from those decades get a big screen release treatment, including Dora the Explorer, Thomas the Tank Engine, Postman Pat, and many more. Well, now it has been confirmed a certain builder and his talking work vehicles are heading our way to the big screen, as was announced this week by Mattel that we are getting a full feature-length animated film based on Bob the Builder. Now, this is getting a little bit of a different setting, as this film will see Bob in this film being voiced by Hamilton actor Anthony Ramos, taking a job over in Puerto Rico where he's on a big construction job, where he will take on issues affecting the island and digs deeper into what it means to really build. Now, the only other big name attached to this project is with the producer side of things, and this film is being produced by music superstar Jennifer Lopez, which may see some big name talent become involved with this project as it develops. Now, it's unclear who will direct this feature film adaptation, and by the case of any of your regular characters like Scoop, Muck, Dizzy, Rolly 2, Lofty Wendy, and the other crew, Spud or something like that, I don't know, or if any other regular characters might make a return. But I guess we'll have to see when the project comes along, and whether or not if they can fix it from the redesign of recent memory, because whenever the hell they did that there, and whether or not we can ask the question if they can fix it, if it's a yes we can, or no, it's fucked. But if there's one thing I also want to bring up as well, is that I hope somewhere in this movie we hear in this film that Barbie somewhat failed to do due to legal issues with Aqua Barbie Girl, is that we hear the version of the Mambo number 5 version from Bob the Builder, otherwise known as Bob the Builder Man. That was made years ago, because that song is a goddamn absolute banger. And it was also number 1 in the charts, so that's true. But I want to know your opinion on this. Are you interested or excited to see a new adaptation of Bob the Builder, or who else do you think see join the film? And what other properties do you see get a film adaptation from Mattel? That's also joined the likes of Barney the Dinosaur, Hot Wheels, Polly Pockets, and many more kind of things. But let me know your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. And with that, that's all the news that we have for this week.
You imagine dragons.
And with that now, that's all we have for episode 36 of Weird Mind Newsroom. And I hope you enjoyed listening to my rambles as always. Now, just a few little updates on the channel. So I'm going to have my anticipated stuff soon enough. I'll have the rewatchathon hopefully in the next few days. I got some things to fix up with some of the films and get on to like recording just the main process stuff, and hopefully either by the end of this month or the start of February I'll have it done. Reviews, I'm going to get more work on those as well, and work on the case of like different topics and stuff. It's just a case January is just very draining motivation, so I apologize for the lack of just other content, and it's just been Weird Mind videos. I will have more over time this year, just find the motivation, just find the reasons to make them, this kind of thing. It's things can change. I also want to do a little video. I'm probably going to release it probably in the next few days, which is just for some projects I think I'm doing from the courses I did, like in side course that I have a graduatory piece for, which I might do a little special segment for in 2 weeks. And it's going to be like an audio, this is a full visual audio piece, which is me talking on like a radio station channel. It's between about 10 minutes kind of thing I'll probably do, but I'll see how that turns out. And if you want interest in it, let me know down in the comments. I'll probably upload it soon enough. I'll probably upload it. But yeah, also the case of some coming soon stuff. Hopefully to figure out gameplays. I'll get some long form videos in there as well. All other stuff. It's all coming. It's just a case of just finding time and effort. I've got shit to do. Like I'm still sorting out this room. I've got projects to sort out. I've got other bits and pieces to do. I've got, commitments to take care of. So I'm a busy man. I'm very tired as well, even though I'm very much of an insomniac at this point and can't get to sleep anymore properly, but you get the gist. Anyways, I've rambled on long enough and rambled on my problems as it is, so I'm going to leave it there because I'm already in my onesie pajamas, so let's get to it. I hope you enjoyed listening to my video, and if you did, why not like the video and subscribe? All subscriptions or likes, I appreciate every single one of you, and even from views as well. I do want to create a wholesome community, and with your help, I plan to do that. And welcome everyone with open arms. Let me know down below in the comments of all the things from this week that you might have seen, you might have played. Like, did you enjoy them? Did you not? What's your opinions on thoughts on the trailers, as well as all the news topics? I'd love to hear all your thoughts and opinions on all the news stories that we discussed this week. Let's have a discussion in the comments. Share it around if you haven't already, and make other people see the channel. But as always, I hope you all stay being wonderful people, because you all are wonderful people. And have a great day every day, doing many great things, because you all really are great people, and I have great faith in you that you're going to do great, successful things. Anyways, it's getting late, and I'm going to bed, and I'll see you all in the next video. So, take care everyone, stay safe out there, drink plenty of water, and good night.